Hey team, just doing a quick tutorial on our tracks with Ableton live setup. So I'm sitting here at the keys rig today, just doing a quick run through on showing you guys how to set up tracks. Usually we have this set up each week before you guys come in at rehearsal, but just in case you needed to reset the system in or in between services, or if in the event that we forgot to get it set up, you'll know how to do this. So first off, you'll come in here at the machine, make sure that this adapter, USB adapter, is plugged in to the USB-C port on the computer, and that your laptop is getting power and all that good stuff, because we don't want it dying in the middle of a service. Not good. So Ableton Live and Dante Virtual Sound Card are two of the main software pieces that we use to run our equipment here. And so the first thing you'll do is right down here at the bottom taskbar, you'll see a little speaker icon. You'll see me right there, and that is the Dante Virtual Sound Card. Hold on as it focuses in. So this is Dante Virtual Sound Card. What this does is it sends 8 channels of audio over our internal network through Dante. And so once you have plugged in that USB-C adapter, you can then turn on that Dante Virtual Sound Card. You'll see all these things are grayed out, indicating that it is connected. Usually a great way to know that it is working is if you see this IP address. That means it's connecting to our Dante switch backstage, and that it is already started. If I was to hit stop, it would stop the service, and then therefore Dante wouldn't work. So if you see that, if you see the IP address, and then that it is already saying that it has started by indicating with the stop button, then you're good to go. You can minimize that, and then open Ableton Live, which is, let me focus, sorry, which is this icon here at the bottom of the taskbar. I already have a window open, so that's what we're going to open up now. So what you'll see is this kind of timeline window. You can go up to File at the top right, top left, top left, and go to Open Recent File, and most likely we will have a service with Sunday's date already made. You will just open that, which is what I've already done, September 4th. You'll open that up, and it'll bring you to this window, where you will see all the tracks lined out in a timeline, all nice and color coordinated and all that kind of stuff. You might see that this window pop out is open. That's just where all our tracks, all the source files live. You shouldn't need that unless you're pulling in any new tracks, which you shouldn't have to, because hopefully we've done that work for you. So you can go over here to this arrow over here on the left, click that, and it'll minimize that window for you. That way you have more space to see the timeline of the project. So right now this is not connected to use Dante, and I wanted to be sure to show you this, because if in the event that something stalls or you have to restart the computer, it's often good to double check your output settings in your windows here. So go up here to Options, click on Options, and then you go down to the bottom of that window and click on Preferences. Under Preferences, you'll see this window pop up. So we want to use what's called an ASIO device, or driver type. So make sure it says ASIO. And then under Audio Device, we want to make sure we have Dante Virtual Sound Card X64 selected. Okay, it'll take a few seconds, yeah, and then you'll see this pop up. One more setting we have to do is set the sample rate. Our soundboard runs at 96K. That is the sample rate it uses, and so Dante and this computer needs to be set as well to 96K. So once you've set that, make sure it's ASIO, Dante Virtual Sound Card 64, and set to 96K. Once you've done that, you should be good to go. We will then X out of that. So this is now set up to talk to Dante, but then we have to configure our tracks to output the right way, so that the board gets all the right tracks in the right places. So that is configured down here in the bottom right corner. You see click, guide, guitars, keys, pads, and synth. So right now those aren't assigned anywhere besides these two, one in channels 1 and 2. So guitars, we have that go out of channels 3 and 4. Keys, you have go that channels 5 and 6. The pads come out of channel 7, and then any kind of synth extra stuff we put in channel 8. Okay, so that is now routed correctly so that the sound guy has all the resources and parts that he needs. If we go through rehearsal and one of our instrumentalists is carrying a part, or hey the track just doesn't sound good, or hey they're playing the part that I'm planning to play, you can go over here. You can either right click on the track itself, right click under the song. So say like in the song Tremble, we want to decide, hey, let's kill the lead guitar 1 for that song. You can go over here, right click on that track, and go over here and click on deactivate clip. That has now deactivated that clip for just that song. Okay, but alternately, if you wanted to, hey, I don't want to have the lead guitar or bass or some other instrument playing at all this entire session, what's really easy, you can come over here and right across from the guitar 1 channel, you just left click on that icon there, and that turns that channel off, so you won't hear it in the tracks or at all. So two different ways you can go about eliminating tracks that you don't want to hear or use. So that's a pretty easy tool. So back to the routing. So we finished our routing. The next step is to make sure that all of our time signatures are set correctly. So right here at the top of each window, you'll see these fractions. Those are time signatures. So this is telling you in the song Be Glad in the key of D, we're doing an eighth note click. So you can right click that and edit time signature and change that to 4/4. Usually we've landed in the 8/8. That seems to be what everybody likes. But if a song is faster, you can change it to 4/4, and just by typing 4-4, and that would change the tempo, or not tempo. It would change the time signature of the click there. Okay, so that is Ableton. Real quick view of the menu. Next thing is to set your MIDI triggers, which is this guy right here. So this little keyboard we use to set the MIDI triggers so that you don't have to mess with this software at all during service. So we want you guys to use this. So the ways to set this up are to go up here to the MIDI button on the top right here. Click on that and you'll see it glow orange or yellow, and then you'll see all these parameters that can be assigned to the MIDI controller. So all these things, some have already been assigned, and you'll see if they've already been assigned, they'll have a number tied to them. That means, hey, I've already been assigned to a button on this MIDI controller, so don't mess me up, basically. Clicking on an icon that's blue, we want to trigger that first song, Be Glad. I want that to be trigger 1, so I'll hit key 1, and then that will be triggered then by that. And then same forward, keep going, trigger 2, click on that one, and then I'll click key 2, and then keep going all the way, all your triggers, however many cues we have set, and then you should be able to go. Once you're done setting all your triggers, come back over here to MIDI and just deselect that by clicking again, and then now what you should see when I click number 1 on the keypad, you'll see blue arrows. So there's number 2, there's 3, and so forth. I might have to go back and reset them, but you get the idea. So I hit key 2 and Welcome popped up, key 3 and We Praise popped up. So that's what you'll see, is that little blue arrow. So if you don't see the blue arrow on the icon of where you selected the MIDI trigger to trigger, then that means you probably need to try to re-trigger. So go back through the MIDI, re-click it, and then hit the keypad one more time, and that should get you started. Once you've done all that, I would highly encourage you, to go back over to File and hit Save Live Set. Okay. Again, if something was to crash within service, it's best that we have everything already saved, so that when you recall the session, everything's good to go the way it's supposed to be, the way you have it set. So another key way to check and make sure you've done it right is to hit play. And then if you are hearing all the tracks and the click and the guide and all that is coming through the right channels and everything in your in-ears, then you know you've done it right, and you can hit stop and then go from there. So again, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped out, give you a quick tutorial on how to use Ableton and the MIDI controller.